What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 59 of the Pentagon Challenge, here with Vitória in the Brazilian First Division. Hopefully you guys are good. Since the last episode, we've played through another 3.5 months, so I've gone quite a way into the future, just kind of to autumn time. The last update was in July. Felt like doing a longer kind of session, and I really played through this for a period of time. It was tons of fun, actually. I really got into this save again, and it was a funny one because obviously I had a break from this series for a while, and to come back to it with kind of this whole fresh mindset really has freshened things up. So whilst there's plenty of fixtures to tell you about, I'm not going to cover all of them in way too much detail just because that'll take far too long. But we will just kind of look through the results. You know, guys know the drill by now. So we got a 2-2 draw against Atletico Paranaense. We'll go with that. This game, we came back from a goal down to go 2-1 up. However, we did throw it away, and 2-2 draw was probably unlucky. Looking at stats, we dominated. Samba and Baba getting on the score sheet, the Gambian and the Nigerian, the two African players linking up there. It was a good result, though. 2-2 away, I'd have certainly taken that to start the season. We'll come on to the Brazilian Cup shortly. We got a 2-2 draw against Goiás. A 0-0 draw against Goiás. A boring game, nothing to tell you about. It really was terrible. But we did follow up, I guess, with this 3-0 win against Náutico. Dominated the game from start to finish. All the goals came within 11 minutes of the second half. Baba getting on the score sheet. Juan Acheta, the El Salvadorian, getting on the score sheet as well, which was cool. And Souza as well, the young centre-back, also contributing, so that was good to see. Unfortunately, we did get a real surprise loss, it has to be said, against Ceará. A 1-0 defeat against the team bottom of the league, and it was a win that they probably deserved. We didn't turn up, although we did have the better of the game. When you're bottom of the league and you're struggling, or around the bottom of the league, I should say, and you're struggling, if they beat you, you've got to put your hands up and go, they deserved it. We were poor, it has to be said. Anyway, on the back of this, and having progressed through the Brazilian Cup, which we'll come on to shortly, we went on a nice little unbeaten kind of streak through August and indeed the end and second half of July, which was nice to see. A few draws in here, but wins against Cruzeiro, that was a big one. They're second in the league, so a 1-0 win there was huge. A 2-0 win away to Atlético Mineiro was big again. Ancheta and Samba getting on the score sheet. This year we've really stepped things up. Obviously, last episode I asked you guys to kind of leave your predictions on where you thought I'd be in the league, given kind of our performances. I kind of feel like we've really performed above and beyond kind of the expectations that I kind of placed upon my team. This 2-0 win kind of really epitomised that, playing superbly. Great to get the win. A good little bit of interplay, and Ancheta eventually just getting the ball into the back of the net. This game was a fairly 50-50 game, but it's the kind of game that when you do grind out a result kind of against Atlético Mineiro, it feels good, and it gives you kind of optimism that you can really kind of continue the run of form up the table. So there was that 2-0 win, which was a great win away from home, as I've already said, and I really can't stress that enough. And then on the back of that, we got 4 draws in a row against Flamengo, Internacional, Guarani and Palmeiras. The only real disappointing one here I could say is against Guarani. It's another result where, I mean, they're not the best team in the world. I mean, to be fair, it's a close league here. So although I'm disappointed to draw, it's tight everywhere in the league, but a draw's a draw. And then following this up, we got a fantastic 3-2 win against Sao Paulo. A result which we deserved. I felt like we played really well through this game. We took a lead early on, and Ancheta in the end went on to get a hat-trick in this game and really make the difference for us. But we took the lead early on. They grabbed a goal back early on in the second half, and I was thinking, at home to Sao Paulo, they're a fantastic side. It's going to be tricky. However, Ancheta came up huge for us. And we managed to get a 3-1 lead, and then they were able to just get one consolation goal. But all in all, great performance by the team, and we got the result, and we were definitely deserving of the win that we got. in this game, sticking with our 5-3-2 formation. It worked really well. Here's Anchetta's goal, his second of the game. Great finish by him. Obviously, with the foreign player rule in this league, which is you can only have 3 foreign players in your starting 11, it has been tricky for me to kind of, I guess, choose and select a starting 11 to play, and with the subs, whereby I'm not, where I'm within the restrictions of the foreign player rule. So there's been times where it's kind of, who do I drop, who do I leave out? Because we have got, I think, 6 or 7 foreign players. But Anchetta really has submitted his place and kind of cemented his place as a key component of our kind of first team plans. But you can see here, good hat-trick for him. His third goal given to him on a plate. And, to take the 3-1 lead was great. The goal at the end of the game came on the counter-attack, and it left me pretty nervy going into the last 3 minutes. But we held out for the result and got the all-important 3 points in the end. You can see here, Sao Paulo committing a lot of men to the attack. Our wing-backs kind of just get caught a little out of position. And they worked the ball upfield nicely, Sao Paulo. And it was disappointing. I mean, perhaps the high line was a problem there, but it was a great finish by their player, and I really, I can't argue against the 3-2 win. I'll certainly take it. In the Brazilian Cup, which we'll come on to now, we obviously won the first leg comfortably against a second-tier team before losing to Portuguesa across 2 legs. Disappointing result. First leg finished 0-0, a game which we dominated. Just couldn't find that all-important goal, and then going into the second leg, we lost 2-1. Again, dominated. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Poor finishing cost us in the end. We weren't good enough, and their keeper kept them in the game. So it was disappointing to get knocked out of the Brazil Cup there, but it did allow me to kind of focus, I guess, on the rest of the league. Meanwhile, we have had the Copa Sudamericana, which I'll come on to in a second. But we will just finish up, I guess, what do you call it? I guess we'll just finish up with these league games. So following the 3-2 win against Sao Paulo, we went on to get a 2-1 win away against Santos, a game which we played superbly in, took the win and the lead early on. We took the game to them. We made them play our football. We dictated the pace of the game. Samba scoring the penalty, which, is something that he's done well. Samba's been superb for us, the Gambian centre mid. He scored so many goals from midfield, and as you can see, he was loving it there with that celebration. Unfortunately for us, we did go, rather not unfortunately for us, fortunately for us, we did go 2-0 up soon after. Igor getting up there, hitting the ball into the roof of the net. Great finish by him. It was a shame that we couldn't hold out the clean sheet, and it kind of would have, I guess, left me less nervy with kind of 30 minutes left on the clock. But nevertheless, 2-1 all in all. Great result, great performance by the entire team, and something that I will certainly take. Unfortunately, that was where our run of 8 games ended, as we lost 2-0 to Corinthians. They're a very good team in the league, Corinthians. They're up there at the top of the table, and we were outmatched and outplayed and outclassed. That's the word I'm looking for. We were outclassed. Obviously over Christmas I've really added the strength in depth and really tried to bolster the squad. But despite this, it's not enough to see us kind of, surpass and outmatch these kind of teams like Corinthians. We can add depth and lots of players, but at the end of the day, quality is always going to reign over quantity, and especially when kind of, I guess, Corinthians surpass us in both quality and quantity within their squad, it's always going to be tough to beat them. But 2-0 was disappointing. You'll see here it came from, one of our attacks starts right from the back of the play, right back from their keeper. They pass the ball upfield. You'd think with 5 in the defence here we could really sort this out ourselves. But as things turned out, space emerges out on the wing, ball comes in, poor defending, no one goal side of the centre forward. So 2-0 it finished. Tough result to take, but since then we've really upped our game up. We got a 1-1 draw against Curitiba here, a game which we probably should have won, but I will take the draw, especially on the back of kind of the patchy form that we'd had beforehand with the draws, and then obviously this defeat, despite the 2 kind of solid wins between. And then we followed it with a nice little run of fixtures. 1-0 against America, we did the job. Josival getting the score, the vital goal that turned the score in our favour. We drew 1-1 with Grêmio, which was a pretty disappointing result. Ricardo Poison, the Argentine, starting for us again. Poor finishing cost us on the day. Kenneth Barbar has been really struggling for goals. I think it's been over like 5 or 6 hours since he scored a goal for us, and that's time on the pitch, which is really poor. Fortunately for us, we did get a 1-0 win late on against Fluminense, a game which again we dominated, but the goal came so late on. Arax are getting on the score sheet here. This lad's been a little gem for us, a kind of player who I can rely on, I can throw up, and he has certainly done a job for us. Since that kind of result, and as you can see here, we really struggled for goals in the 5 games preceding the 2 good wins. But we bounced back here with a 3-1 win against Vasco. All the goals coming for us fairly early on. We got one in the 10th minute, one in the 22nd. 2-0 looked good. They got a goal back in the 62nd minute, and we went on, fortunately for us, to grab one more goal in the 67th minute, which left me a lot calmer. Going into the last kind of 20 minutes, a man down as well. We had a sending off early on. 33 minutes in, we went a man down, and it was a test for us this game. But as you can see there, Everson with the great goal. Quality little finish into the top left corner. And that was a great way to start the game, and then we did follow it up with a second goal coming not long afterwards. So at 2-0, you always feel like your team's going to play well, and especially with us struggling for goals, but keeping a fairly firm defence throughout, I kind of felt like we should really be in command and be able to win this game now. So when we conceded, it was nervy for a period. However, we did bounce back incredibly quickly to get that follow-up goal. So all in all, I was very content with the performance of the team. You can see here they grabbed a goal in the 62nd minute, and I was a little bit worried. However, as you can see, looking at the stats, we were the better team, and this has been kind of a general pattern. This is one of the few games where we did kind of, I guess, let our dominance tell. There's been many games where we've just not quite got the win, and although we've not lost too many, there's plenty of games which I've drawn where on another day we probably should have, woulda, coulda, maybe, or maybe won, who knows. Anyway, 0-0 against Botafogo preceded this result. 50-50 game, a draw was fair. We then went on to win 2-0 against Goiás, which was a good result. Better side throughout. Kenneth Barbar breaking his goal duck here, which was good to see. And Cheda, the El Salvadorian, as well, getting on the score sheet. And then the most recent game was against Atletico Paranaense. That is one hell of a name. And it was 1-1. Disappointing we couldn't see it again. I can't even get my words out, guys. It was a shame we couldn't see out the result. But at the end of the day, it kind of sums up our season. I mean, looking at the league, we're third, and we're looking good in third. We're 5 points clear of the teams behind us. There's only 8 games left of the season, but we're looking solid in the league. I feel as if we should be on course to get third now. I feel as if the league's probably just about escaped us, which is unfortunate, but one of those things, I suppose. But all in all, if we hadn't slipped up to some of the teams lower down the table, and if a few of these draws have been wins, we could be right up there. I mean, the fact we've drawn 13 is criminal in many regards. To draw 3 is to only lose 3 is decent. Our defensive record isn't too bad, and our goals certainly aren't the worst kind of scoring record in the league. A quick look at the players. In terms of our starting 11, this is what I kind of consider to be my starting 11 at the moment, although it really does get changed a lot. You'll see here I've added in a new column for height. I did not realise that Sousa was 6'7". That's just ridiculous. 6'7" centre-back. No wonder he wins everything in the air. And in truth, my whole defence is aerial dominant, which has been great for us. And we even have Sammy Anego here, 6'9". This guy, I mean, he's 18. He could grow still. I thought that was crazy. Not often you get a 6'9" player who has those kind of finishing stats, but he's been injured. He's not had as much first team football as I'd like. But regardless, we're looking fairly good. Looking at kind of form of late, Ricardo Poison's played well when he's been called upon. Obviously, he fits into the foreign player category, which is unfortunate. But it is one of those things. 12 goals in 22 for him in the league. In terms of other real top goal scorers, Kenneth Barbar, 21 goals in 41 games. Samba doing well from centre mid with 17 and 35. Continued in his kind of vein of scoring run he had going into the previous episode. On the assist front, players really contributing from all positions. Good to see Ramon and Gabriel, the wing backs, getting plenty of assists. Fabio and Samba as well, the two fairly attacking centre mids when they play, also really heading the assist charts. And Cheda, the El Salvadorian, has done well for us as well. He's been a key component. Obviously, you saw he got a hat-trick, but he's been important for us. 14 goals in 31 games is not too bad at all. 7 assists as well is really nice. And all in all, the squad's looking really good. Looking at player stats, I don't know if we're going to feature anywhere on here. Probably not, knowing my luck. I can only see, the only ones I can see are Ronaldo with the clean sheets thing, where we have 12 clean sheets, which isn't too bad, and Everson getting on the average rating charts. He's been a good little centre defensive mid for us when I've called upon him, and he's certainly done a job for us, and I love that moustache. That is special. If you're watching FM and you're not looking at the video, check out that tash. It's something special. But anyway, just a quick little rundown of the Sudamericana, which is something that I kind of alluded to a second ago. So the Sudamericana is basically the Europa Cup equivalent. I think I talked a little about it in the previous episode. In the first leg of the preliminary round, we won 2-1 on aggregate. The goals coming in the very first game. We dominated the game. As you can see, we really outplayed them, and I was worried this was going to be one of these games where we only got a draw. Fortunately for us, there was an own goal in the 90th minute by one of the American centre-backs after a real kind of scramble on the line, shall we say. So that was good to see. And 2-1 was certainly a good result to take. In the second leg, a ball draw was all that we needed, and I was really happy to get that. You know, to go through is great. I'm not too concerned about this competition. At the moment, given our league position being third, we're on schedule to qualify for the Copa Libertadores, which we could have a chance of winning, and I say this very kind of ambitiously, just because in South America, the Brazilian teams are the best teams by a mile. You know, they are the strongest teams in the continent, and so assuming the likes of Corinthians and then Cruzeiro and I guess any other team who kind of qualifies along with us doesn't have the best run ever, we could be in with an outside chance of it. I mean, the squad that I've got here is very solid, and I kind of believe we could do it. It's just a case of us closing out some more of these games. But as you can see here, 1-1 it was at this stage, having them got back into the game midway through the second half. And then with the game kind of fizzling out right at the death, the ball got pumped into the box by Gabriel. Barba with the shot, mass confusion, and it ended up in the back of the net, and I wasn't going to complain. So 2-1 that finished, and then in the second round, or the first round as it is, because the other round was the preliminary, we won 1-0 at home in a really convincing result. Sendings off galore here, but Igor getting the vital goal for us. We dominated the game. Should we win this, we will reach the quarterfinals, which if we do, I would certainly be doing a live com of, and that'll be for episode 60. But all in all, things are looking really positive here. I mean, obviously a lot of games played, really trying to plough on with the save, because the Brazilian league just has such a crazy amount of games. I know someone was saying that, I think the last episode, that I had too many strikers. I kind of agree that I have a lot of strikers. I mean, you look there and you go, that's quite a lot of players. But when you start looking at their ages and the fact that a lot of these are kind of just backups and players I can rotate upon, I don't feel like the squad depth's too big or an issue. You've got to remember, if I just show you the appearances so far, Alex has made 63 appearances in 10 months so far. So he has averaged I'm trying to do the maths here. 10 times 30 is 300. He's averaged a game over once every 5 days, which across a sustained period of time can really catch up with a player. And it's amazing that he's been able to kind of continue to play this many games. His 17 stamina and his 12 natural fitness certainly aiding in that. But it illustrates the point, that I'm having to play players again and again and again, and it's tough. And this season we've done some great, business, and we've rotated nicely. Brings me on to just the transfers really quickly, and then there's one other thing that I need to wrap up. But on the transfers, during the summer window, we did get Nick Howe, who's just a useful little centre attacking mid on fairly high wages, but this guy's only in for 2 years, so I'm hoping he can do a job for me. And then the other two players we have are Ricardo Velázquez and Rafael. Ricardo Velázquez is just a decent backup wing back that I got in on a free, fairly athletic player. He'll do a job for us. And then Rafael up front, the young right back, the experienced right back. He's anything but young, but he just adds to the squad a little bit. So yeah, hopefully this has kind of kept you informed with the squad. As I mentioned, episode 60 will be the Copa Sudamericana quarterfinals or semi-finals or whatever we end up getting into. I'm a bit confused by the whole system. We'll just take things as they come though, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, as always, give it a like. If you've got anything to comment with regards to my squad, with regards to my team's position, leave it down in the comments. And other than that, I will talk to you guys in a bit. It's me, Jack, and I'm out, guys.